up everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. My name is Meg and today I'm doing a Chit Chat Get Ready with me for this nice, easy spring into summer look. And I'm also going to be chatting with you guys my experience and my husband's experience with dose 2 of the Phizer vaccine. So if you're interested in that, you're in the right place, and let's get into it. Hello everybody, it is allergy season. I am so stuffy. So today I just wanted to sit down and do a follow-up with my vaccine. I'm fully vaccinated. I'm about to hit the 2-week mark. I am so excited. If you guys are interested in my first video that I talk about the vaccine, the symptoms, I also volunteered. That's how I was able to get the vaccine so early in Arizona. They are still needing and looking for volunteers. So I will have hands-on information linked down below. And then that video that I talk about my vaccine experience and volunteer experience, if you're curious, I'll have it linked up above and then also down below, and it will be linked at the end of the video too, I'm sure. So I just want to do a little bit of a lighter makeup today, just something nice and simple to feel like a little bit prettier. And yeah, I thought it would be a good idea to sit down and just talk in a video about symptoms and stuff like that. So I hope you guys are doing well. The masked knee has not been my friend, so I'm going to be very careful with this spot because it's pretty raw, so I'm honestly not really going to cover it that much. But I'm going to use my Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation. I'm going to start applying that. So my husband also got the vaccine with me, so that's who I'm going to be referencing when I say we. So our symptoms the first time around, like we felt something, but it like really wasn't that bad. I've heard that symptoms vary between Phizer and Mirena. Like I heard and read with Phizer, the symptoms are more like quickly onset. Within a couple of hours you start to get the symptoms of the vaccine, but with Moderna, oh my god, with the Moderna vaccine, it can take the 2 days for your side effects to kick in. So I would just research whichever one you are getting or whichever one you are hoping to get and plan accordingly, because I think that it's good to be precautious and just take the time and plan it around your schedule when you don't have a lot going on, because some people really were wiped out by the vaccine. And I would say that was more so the case for us with dose 2. So when we got our vaccine, it was still outdoors. Out here in Phoenix, they were doing an outdoor rollout at 2 different stadium parking lots. So it was a very simple procedure. You just drove through with your car to various checkpoints and they check you in. You get your shot. The 15 minutes that you wait, you drive through other checkpoints to make sure that you're good, and then you are good to go if you're not having any reactions to it. The first time we got the vaccine was when they were recommending you to take Tylenol before the vaccine to help with arm pain, but then when we went back for the second one, they said don't take anything if you can help it. And I'm not an expert, but I think the theory behind that is you don't want, like, you want your body to fully experience the symptoms. And I heard that you really shouldn't be taking Tylenol unless if your fever is above 101 and it lasts more than like 2 or 3 hours. But again, not a medical professional. Do your own research. Talk to your nurse that's giving you the vaccine. Make sure that you're getting all your questions answered. But that is just what I heard. So the first time around, we did take some Tylenol. And then the second time around, we obviously didn't because it was recommended not to. The second time around with arm soreness wasn't as bad. I think that's because the first time around, I wasn't really proactive with moving my arm around like I should. But after getting the vaccine, even on the car ride home, I was just going like this with my arm and just making sure I was moving it, and I think that helped a lot. Yeah, I'm just like keeping this spot makeup free. So now I'm gonna go in with my concealer. This is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I'm not a huge fan of this. It doesn't really have good coverage, and it's just like, I don't know, it's not what I need. It definitely brightens and it's hydrating, which is nice, but it's like just not enough. I think I'm gonna see if I can get my hands on the Tarte Hydrating Shape Tape, because my complaint with the original Shape Tape was that it was way too drying. And I also thought it was a little bit too much coverage, but this like isn't quite enough, because the under eye bags through this last year have gotten pretty intense. Like, I just feel like the coverage really isn't there, and I feel like it kind of picks up my foundation, and then when you go to layer more on, it just doesn't work that great for me. Like, I feel like right now there's really no difference in this eye that has concealer and this eye that doesn't. Like, it's a little bit smoother and brighter looking, but not by much. In case you're new here, I ramble and get off topic all the time, but I always manage most of the time to find my way back to what I was talking about. My skin has also been so dry. Like, it just looks so patchy. I don't know what it is. I just noticed that my skin has gotten a little bit drier, and this concealer is like not wanting to work for me. Foundation also isn't wanting to stick on my nose. This is what's so bizarre to me. Like, even years later, I'm still adjusting to living in Arizona, because in Ohio my skin would be like this in winter when it was cold and dry, but now that it's like spring about to be summer, my skin is like so anyway, back to talking about the vaccine. We had some errands to run after we got our vaccine, so I would say it was about 2 hours later I started getting nauseous while we were driving the car. I do tend to get motion sickness, but this was like definitely from the vaccine, because normally it's not that bad and I can be like, okay, like I need to put my phone down, like I'm starting to feel a little bit car sick, and I'll be fine. But I wasn't really looking at my phone that much while Joe was driving, of course. And I just started feeling like really weird and nauseous, and it was like different than car sick nauseous. And there was, this may be TMI, but I like can't handle throwing up. Like, I rather just feel sick for hours than actually throw up. So for me, normally when I feel nauseous, I just like burp a lot and then I feel better. I don't know, people think that that's gross. It's just what I do. But I was afraid to burp, because I thought if I burped, I was going to throw up. Like, that's how it was. So, wasn't the best feeling. I would say that I felt nauseous on and off for like 2 or 3 hours. So that was the first symptom that I really came in contact with, besides a sore arm. And I just want to say, I got like, I had a hit of bad luck again with my nurse, because she gave me my shot and I had blood dripping down my arm. She's like, ooh, yeah, that wasn't a good one. And I'm just like, ugh. If you watch my first video, my nurse was like, happy jab day, and she like literally jabbed me and I had a bruise. I feel like my bruise, it's still slightly bruised, and it's been almost 2 weeks. Like, I am shocked that the bruise has lasted that long. So yeah, that was not fun. I'm sorry about any background noise or music you hear. It's Saturday, so everyone is outside doing lawn work, and this always happens to me when I want to film. So anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and apply bronzer, blush, highlight, and then work on the eyes. For the eyes today, I am going to be using my bronzer on my eyes along with one like lighter neutral cream colored shadow. This is a Nars Laguna bronzer, and in case you guys are wondering, I did use the brow freeze again today, so it definitely adds texture to your brow hairs. And if you're more interested in seeing like a demo, I do 2 different demos in a video that will be linked up above and then also down below. I do one where I fill my brows in first and have makeup on just to show what it looks like as a topper, and then I come back the next day with no makeup on, and then I go in with a brow freeze first. So if you want an in-depth demo on how that product works, check out that video. So anyways, those were like the 2 onset symptoms for me. Was like, what is this? This is like unbearable. I hope it's not really picking up on camera. It's so loud. For me, those were the two onset symptoms. I guess for my husband, he wasn't really feeling anything. Like, he definitely felt a lot of soreness in his arm. So the first couple of hours, that's all that we really felt. So I would say that for me, my nausea lasted 2 or 3 hours, like I said, and then I just felt really fatigued in the afternoon. We got our shot late morning. So in the afternoon, I just felt tired, not as tired as the first dose. The first dose, like, I could barely keep my eyes open on the couch. I was so fatigued. But this one, it just felt like I didn't get a good night's sleep, and like I just wanted to sit on the couch all day, but if I had to get up and do stuff, I could. So that's the kind of fatigue that I started to deal with into the afternoon. So into the evening is kind of like where my symptoms started to come out more. I just felt so completely exhausted. Like, I never get DoorDash or anything because like I hate paying for the delivery fee, but I could not be bothered to drive to Panera, and like their baked potato soup just sounded really good. So I got Panera delivered to my house. Like, that's how fatigued I was, that I couldn't drive 5 minutes down the street to go get Panera. And I was just feeling like very overheated for a couple hours. Like, I was just sweating so much. I was so hot. And then my husband, again, was the opposite. He had the chills again really bad. Like, he could not get warm. He had that same issue last time. He was also dealing with really bad arm soreness. Like, he couldn't even move his arm, but I think that's because he wasn't moving it enough right after the shot. Like, I was fine. Like, I was nervous it would hurt because like last time I couldn't wash my hair, my arm was so sore, but I think like just moving it right after I got it really helped me a lot with that. For blush, I'm taking my Lunar Beauty Moon Prism, and I'm going to take the shade Stargaze and Twilight, so these two center shades. I take more of Stargaze and like 4 dabs in the Stargaze, 2 dabs in the Twilight. So yeah, my husband had the chills and he was just like sweating so much. I was like, I think you need to take your temperature because like maybe you have a fever. And he had a really low grade fever. So I was like, okay, like that's not that bad. And then into the night, we both had insomnia. Like, we both could not sleep for the life of us. Like, we were so exhausted but could not fall asleep. So it was awful. Insomnia lasted for me for 3 days. For my husband, he had it for like 2 days of just having a really hard time getting to sleep. Like, up until 6 a.m. couldn't sleep. And then I've been liking to throw back to the Ball Mary Lou, just because like this has lasted me for years, and I would wear it every single day too, because you just need a little bit. And I like having that underglow of like the cream highlight that I put on. That was from Rare Beauty in the shade Enlighten. I don't think I said that. These leaf blowers are distracting me so bad. I was like, I'm gonna have it together and be more organized in my video and make more sense, and like my husband was having a really hard time like sleeping. Like, he was freezing. It was just ridiculous to me because like I was still feeling a little bit overheated. And we keep our house pretty cool when we sleep. Like, we need it to be cold. So like we set our air to 70 when we go to sleep. And so I was still like just so hot. I was like, this is annoying. Like, I just feel overheated and I can't sleep. But my husband's like, oh my God, I'm freezing. Like, I am so cold, I can't get warm. So I went and got him like another comforter, and he said like that wasn't enough, and he still couldn't get warm. He had to put a sweatshirt on, he put socks on. So that's where I was like, okay, maybe your fever got worse. Take your temperature again. And his fever, I want to say, was like at 101. So that's when he was like, I can't take this anymore, I'm taking Advil. Don't take Advil, it won't work. And in some cases, it will make your symptoms worse. Like, I wish, obviously, we knew that at the time, because he just wanted some relief from his fever, and he had a pretty bad headache as well. I had like a pretty slightly dull headache the next day, not so much the day of, but he had a pretty bad headache in the evening time, and obviously a pretty high fever. So he took Advil thinking it would like help relieve him of some of his symptoms, and that it did not. He said that he felt like his fever broke for maybe 30 minutes and that was it, and then it was back to just feeling horrendous. So if you're having like a really bad fever and like you can't shake it, or like a really severe headache, Tylenol, I guess, is the only thing that will help you. But back to the makeup. To add a little bit more definition to the eyes and some drama, I'm gonna take this Pro Brow Brush by Beauty Junkies. It's just like a nice thin angled brush, and I'm just gonna use the bronzer again to create some wings. I'm gonna do like an inner corner one and then an outer corner one. And I also like using shadows like bronzer anyway as a map if you are like not good at doing winged liner and you're nervous about not getting them even. It's easy to just smudge it away if it's not even. Like this one is angled up. Actually, those are looking pretty even. I'm surprised. It's easy to fix is what I'm getting at. So I'm just gonna build this up a little bit. So it got to the point where I had like it's called a My Comfy. I'll have to insert a picture of it, but it's like this fleece lined like hoodie, oversized hoodie thing. And my husband said that because like he was getting frustrated with his insomnia and not being able to sleep, so he got up and just went to go lay in the other bed because he didn't want to disrupt me if I fell asleep. But he said he put the comfy on and was under 5 different blankets and still couldn't get warm. I was a little shook. I felt so bad for him. And I'm just bringing this about halfway in. So it's just like a little at the end. And then for the inner corner, I'm just gonna follow along the lower lash line. Like I'm not doing it on my upper lid, I'm gonna follow it and just bring it out. So it's like a little bit of like that pointed inner corner, but it's more subtle because I feel like with my eye shape, it doesn't really work and my eyes water a lot. So it's just a nice little shadow. So that's it for the eye look that we're going for today. So for day two was worse for me because my arm was really sore, but it was like really weird. Like I don't get headaches often, and I was like having this really dull, like annoying headache throughout the day. And it was weird because like my gums really hurt and like my face was really achy. Like it just felt like a really bad sinus infection, and my gums just hurt so bad. I was like, I want all my teeth to fall out because it hurts. I don't know, sometimes like when I'm PMSing, I will get really bad gum pain right before I get my period, but it was like worse than before I get my period. It was just so obnoxious, and I didn't take anything because I didn't have a fever and I just wanted the shot to do its thing. I didn't want to like try to interrupt that, so I just stuck it out. So that lasted, like the headache and the face ache and the gum ache lasted on and off for about 36 hours. The sore arm, I was fine. I got my shot on a Wednesday. By Saturday, my arm pretty much was normal. It was just sore where I had the bruise from the injection site. My insomnia lasted for 3 days. And then with my husband, his fever dissipated halfway through day 2. He was feeling a lot better. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention, like in the middle of the night, he was vomiting. So he got such bad side effects from it. I felt so terrible because it's like, I want to help him, but what can I really do? What can I really do to help? So he had the fever, he had the chills, he had the vomiting. I think he threw up 3 times, but luckily it was all within like a 10-minute span, so it wasn't consistent. Like, isn't this such a fun video? A symptom that we did not have that a lot of his coworkers were talking about was, I guess they had a lot of really bad diarrhea as a side effect. So they were like, you definitely need to block your time out because you're gonna wanna be by the toilet. But luckily we didn't have those symptoms. It's just another more severe is an annoying symptom that I heard about. And then yeah, he had a headache again for about 36 hours. His arm was really sore, like the 48 hours. So that was pretty much our experience with dose 2 of the vaccine. And yeah, it was like a shitty 2 days or whatever, but I'd rather be vaccinated than risk dying from COVID. So So at the end of the day, even though the symptoms weren't the best, like it wasn't a fun 2 days, I mean, it's like the same thing when I would get the flu shot. Like I feel like I would be sick for a couple of days after getting the flu shot. And before I wrap this up, the last thing I'm going to do is go into this Nikkietutorials palette, and I'm taking this shade right here, Basic Truth. It's basically the same shade as like my skin tone because I'm so pale. But I'm just going to, with my finger, go in here and just clean up the inner corner. So obviously this is like a little bit more subtle and natural. This just adds like a hint of like sharpness, so it's a little bit more purposeful looking. I don't know. Anyway, at the end of the day, it wasn't a fun 2 days, but I mean, it's like you're getting a vaccine that's supposed to duplicate the virus so your body knows how to handle it so it doesn't get to extreme points. So I'd rather take that than actually risk getting COVID myself, and I get to keep others safe and integrate more into the world, and that is what I'm looking forward to, is just going to the movies, going to Topgolf, being able to go out to eat and sit on the patio and enjoy company of my cousin that is also vaccinated. So those are just, you know, I'm excited and looking forward to that. For lips, I'm going to take my Nars Lip Balm. This is in the shade Laguna. It's a little mini sample one. It just adds a nice little tint to your lips. These are so comfortable. I'm thinking about getting some Nars, I've been thinking about getting a Nars foundation to try out. But anyways, if you guys have any products that you love from Nars, let me know. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply mascara and be right back. And then one thing that I just want to touch on really fast, I have some mascara flakes, I'm letting them dry, and then I'll show you how to get rid of them. I just like leaving that in my video. So one thing that I just want to touch on really fast is that I've been seeing a lot of people on social media, like an influx of people getting COVID now all of a sudden, and that is because of two things that I've noticed with them talking about their experience, is that they said that they felt like they could ease up on precautions because people were getting vaccinated. And then another thing was they got dose 1 of the vaccine and thought that they could ease up on precautions and go out and stuff between doses. So you definitely just want to make sure you're still following the CDC guidelines. I know we're all over wearing masks, but it's to keep yourself safe and protected and still to keep those around you protected. And for me, like, we were very vigilant of trying to limit running errands even from our first dose to 2 weeks after the second dose. They say that it takes a full 2 weeks after dose 2 for you to be as vaccinated as much as possible. So I'm still gonna continue to go out and wear a mask when I'm out in the public just because that is what the CDC is recommending. So I just wanted to throw that out there. What I like to do to get rid of mascara flakes is I always have a spoolie that's clean that I literally just use for this purpose, and I wash it like once a week maybe. But you want to wait until your mascara is dry and then you just literally flake it away and it will come off. And if you're having issues with it smudging or like not coming off all the way, I then go in with another layer of eyeshadow on top of it to cover it, and that normally works pretty well. So yeah, if you have any other questions about my experience with the Phizer vaccine, let me know in the comments down below, and then I just ask that you guys keep it respectful in the comment section. And yeah. Let me know what else you would like to see from me. I have some cooking videos coming up, grocery haul, and then get ready with me with lighter and more fun subjects, hopefully. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this update video and getting ready with me. Yeah, I really like this a lot for like a subtle like spring into summer look. It's like a little bit, but not too much. I think adding freckles would be really cute. Yeah, obviously this thing is horrendous, but in the state that it's in, I'd rather not have makeup on it than clog it up with makeup and have it stick around even longer. So anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe on the way out if you aren't already. Be sure to check me out on my other social media link down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye everyone.